Hi, welcome to Beyond Politics. I'm Catherine Clark. Quebec NDP MP Djaouida Sellah was born in Algeria, trained and then worked as a doctor. In fact, she volunteered her services during the Gulf War for the Red Cross. Afterwards, she returned to Algeria. She married, moved with her husband to Asia, and finally to Canada. She's a mother of 3 children. She ran and won in the past federal election. And Djaouida Sellah joins me now to talk about her life beyond politics. Djaouida Sellah, welcome to Beyond Politics. It's really great to have you here.
It's my pleasure.
Well, you know, you've had a very busy few months, really year, I suppose, and we first met, in fact, at a breakfast on Parliament Hill back at the end of November, maybe December of this past year. And I was so taken by your story and your history that I'm very glad to welcome you and have you be able to share it today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure too, and it's a pleasure to share my story with you and all the Canadian women.
Now, you were born in Algeria, is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And how long did you live in Algeria?
Since I was born.
Oh, so you lived there until...
Until I got married to my husband,
okay.
And I followed him here to Canada.
You did, eh?
Yeah.
Did you know what you were getting into?
I didn't know, absolutely no, because, you know, when as an immigrant you apply,
yeah.
So the officer told me that it will be hard, but
to be accepted?
To be accepted.
Right.
I realized this, but I said, okay, since there is a shortage, if I have to sit for the exam and do my equivalence, so yeah. Maybe I can practice. He said, yeah, maybe it's up to you if you want to do it or not.
Right. And you're talking about a medical degree.
Exactly.
Because you're a doctor.
Yeah, I'm a doctor,
yeah.
General practitioner.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about growing up in Algeria.
Yeah.
Did you come from a big family?
Not really big family. I have 2 sisters and an adoptive brother.
Yes.
Because my mom was, I would say it in English, sage-femme.
Oui, a midwife?
Midwife.
Yes. Okay.
So she brought in our family a guy she didn't have, or she lost
yes.
before I was born.
Oh, really?
And she was a midwife, yeah.
Okay.
So we are 4 now.
Wow. So one day she just came home with a little boy to...
I remember it was my first year in university.
Really?
Yes.
And she came home with a...
And she came home with she used to take care of him.
Yes.
And then when, you know, the clinic where she used to work decided to put it in a social...
Yes. So he was going to...
Center.
Right.
So she get, you know, some relation with the baby.
Yes.
And she said, oh, no, I won't let him go there.
So
I will bring him to my family.
Good for her.
Oh, yeah, she's a great woman.
Were you a little shocked?
No, not at all.
No?
Because I wanted to have a brother. So,
that's good. Lucky boy, 3 older sisters.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we were very, very happy to have it in our family. And he was a very nice guy. And now I think he's like 25 years old.
Wow. Does he still live there?
Yeah, he's still living there.
At home with your mother?
At home. No, my mother is here. She follows us because the 2 sisters of my 2 sisters moved after me here
to Canada.
Yes, they applied and they get selected by immigration.
Wow, isn't that something?
Yeah, because
I can see why your mom came then.
Yeah, because once is a pharmacist.
Yes.
And the other, she's a veterinarian.
Yes, a veterinarian.
Yes.
Excellent. Gosh, you're all very accomplished. When you were growing up, did your parents put an emphasis on education?
Exactly.
Yeah. So when you were a little girl, did you have a sense of what you wanted to be?
Of course. I wanted to be, first of all, I wanted to be a pilot.
A pilot?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great job.
Yeah.
And you see the
but,
world.
you know, when you are young and you dream, something like this. But unfortunately, in my country, there is no school for girls, for civil pilots.
Yes.
So we had to move to the west of the country, which is a military center for pilots. And then I didn't want to go there. So
did they move because you wanted to be a pilot?
If
you
had to move to the west of the country.
Okay, so you decided.
Yeah. I knew before I made my decision, but after a while, since I grew especially in my father's family, there are a lot of doctors, there are a lot of dentists, there's a lot of pharmacists. So I said, oh yeah, doctor, why not?
That's great. Were you surrounded by people who told you that you could be anything you wanted to be?
Exactly.
You were, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there were no limits put on.
No, not at all.
Right. And what did your mom and dad do for a living?
Unfortunately, I didn't have the chance to know a lot my father.
Yes.
He was died after the independence of Algeria.
Okay.
About, he got tortured.
He was tortured?
Yes. And after, I think just after the independence, he passed away.
Oh, isn't that sad?
If things happen in the life, you know.
I suppose this is true.
Yeah, it's true. But
tough for your mom too.
That's why I said she was a great woman, because she took care of us three girls.
How old were you at that time?
I think I was like three and a half, something like this. That's all.
You were really
I
young.
just have an image, you know, of my dad, but it was okay. I have my grandfather who was here to support us. Everything.
Okay. So, what were you like as a little girl?
I was a little bit shy girl, and I didn't speak a lot, and I was very, how do you say it in English, discret.
Okay, so you were shy, you were discreet, and yes, okay.
And I know my mom, she didn't want to let us in public school, so she put us in, how do you say?
Like a private school?
Like private, but it was directed by nuns.
By the nuns?
Yeah.
Oh. We share something in common then.
Yeah,
okay, bon.
Okay.
Alors, c'était des sœurs. It was nuns.
It was nuns, I remember.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, and how long were you there?
Until
you graduated.
Yeah. But for the secondary, I went to the public, but is, how you say it in English, pensionnat?
Okay. Yes, like a...
Like
a pensionnat is like a boarding, basically?
Yes. You pass the whole week there, and you come out by the weekend.
On the weekend, you went home to your family?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, because she wanted, you know, we get focused on our study and get a big degree and something like this.
Right, and have the structure. And
yes.
Yeah. Did your mom work? You said she worked in a child or social services almost, or your mom, or was she home raising you?
No, she was working as I say sage-femme.
Oh, we come in sage-femme.
Yeah.
So that's what she did the whole time.
Yes.
Your mom was, oh my gosh, she would have been on call all the time though.
Yes.
Wow.
Until we got married, and even here in Canada, she followed us.
She really is a remarkable woman.
Yeah, she's very remarkable.
Who can obviously function on very little sleep. So, wow. So tell me about, you finished high school, you decide to become a doctor, and then did you practice in Algeria?
Yeah, of course. I practiced for 10 years.
Did you?
Before I get married.
Before you got married?
Yes. Okay. And when I got married, I was already practicing.
Yeah.
And even though during my practice,
Yes.
I went as a volunteer for the Gulf War.
Yes.
The first war.
Yes, I remember reading about that for the Croissant Rouge, the Red Cross.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, tell me why you did that. You volunteered your service. Did you just wake up one day and decide, I'm going to volunteer my services in the Gulf War?
Yeah, no, but because, as a volunteer, I have been doing, since I was studying medical study, for example, in the holiday on summer.
Yes.
I was like few weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
As a volunteer student.
Right.
To sensibilize people for water, vaccination, and many things. So since I was young, I was like a volunteer, and when I was, and then I was a member of the Council of Medical Council of Algeria.
Right.
So I was the person in charge of Southeast Algeria, and then when there was a war, and they are asking for volunteers, so I was the first one to go there.
What did your family say when you decided to go into a war zone?
I remember my mom was astonished. She said, how come you're going there? You don't know what will happen to you? I said, nothing will happen for me. I just go there to help people. They need my help.
Did anything happen to you?
Nothing at all. No.
You were safe?
I was very safe. I used to work in a region where there is Shiite women, because there is a separation between men and women, and I was taking care of women. Yeah. And it was a very, very great experience.
They probably could have used your mom there too.
Yeah.
As a midwife.
I visited
you could have been a 2-for-1 team.
Yeah. But at that time she was not a doctor.
No. What are some of the things that you saw there? Because when we think of a war zone, we think of, very terrible circumstances. And you really seem to put an emphasis on war, on women, on education, those types of things in the issues that are important to you.
Oh, yeah.
So what was it like to be there in a war zone as a doctor?
It was something I haven't experienced before. But, for example, when I was there, I have seen many things. Have seen something, it was horrible to talk about. It was the skeleton of the children. It was a kindergarten. It was bombed there. It was bombed there. Yeah. And when they took us to see what's happening, during the war, and these things, it was a little bit very hard for me. And then after that, I went each day, in Shiite, how do you say, quartier?
In a neighborhood.
Neighborhood. So I was very glad to have some women, and I used to go to the place where all the foreigner doctors were there, and I used to go there and make some medicines for these patients, and they were very grateful for me.
Did you have medicine to give to people? Did you have things available to you?
There was no things very available, over there. But since, in the world there are many doctors from different countries there, they brought with them some medicines.
And they'll share it?
They share it with me, and then I took it for these patients. And it was very helpful for these ladies.
How did it affect your view of the world and of people?
Oh, yeah. It's, for me, I realized what is the war, and the victims of the war. And unfortunately, is the simple citizen who pay this war. That's what I have seen there. And since then, you know, my idea, my way to see the world has a lot of change, you know, because I have some things like my dad passed away because of torture of the work, like colonization.
Right.
And then I went to Baghdad and I have seen these many things. And I said, no. All the world we have across the world shouldn't be like this, you know, because it doesn't, how we say, it doesn't evaluate the life of the people. So I'm against any war. I prefer diplomatic ways of something to do than to have many casualties. It's not there for to be there.
Innocent victims.
Innocent victims, that you said. That's the word I was looking.
Did it make you angry, or did it make you hopeless, or were you able to see that you were helping people and that at least was good?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I said, at least I have to make some difference for these people, helping them and something like this. I wasn't, maybe if I was outside, I would be very angry when you saw some image of, you know, the newspaper and the TV, something make people angry. But when you are inside, you realize, you know, the depth of this war and why, etc. But, you know, it's just the way now I see the war is because I'm very, very concerned about innocent casualties.
Right. How long were you there?
I think I have been there for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, before, you know, they signed the peace treaty.
Yeah.
I was there.
Really?
We were bombarding and we just go down.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Anywhere that you could? You would just find shelter anywhere when they were dropping bombs on you?
Yeah.
Did you fear for your life?
Sometimes. But, you know, because there are many people out there and you say, I'm not alone, you know. If something happened, it happened for other people here.
Right.
That's my philosophy.
What was it like when you went home? You left a war zone and you had to go home again.
I was very happy. I said, you know, it's completely different.
Yeah.
You don't have to have fear about to be bombarded, or you don't have fear to look for water, medicines, and even eating.
Yeah.
So it's completely different world.
Tell me, you weren't married at this point.
No, I wasn't married.
No, you weren't married. How did you meet your husband?
Oh, big question.
Big question.
My husband used to work in Southeast Asia.
Okay.
It was Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
And he was neighbor of my uncle.
Right.
And I was working southeast of Algeria.
Right. And someone decided you needed to get married? Is that what happened?
No, they arranged to meet each other, you know.
Okay.
They don't decide that because I decided.
Okay.
It's just the opportunity to get together. But, yeah, he has his criteria, I have my criteria also. And then we went out, you know, together.
Yeah.
And we discussed many things. And then I found my partner.
Sure.
Okay, I can leave my country now.
And it was understood from the beginning that he would be moving to Canada?
Yes.
And you knew that? You knew
that?
Yes,
I knew that because I have been there in Kuala Lumpur, and then
you lived with him in Kuala Lumpur?
Yeah, at least for 4.5 years in Kuala Lumpur. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's there where I learned English.
Wow. My goodness.
Yeah.
And you had children at that point, or?
No, I didn't have any children. By the last year, I got my first
child.
First child there.
Okay. And did you move from Kuala Lumpur to Canada?
Yes.
Right. That's a bit of a weather shock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You probably would have had to buy a coat for the first time in your life.
I just wait, you know how you say, there was here in Canada, let's see, how do you say it in English? I can't find my word.
Say it in French and I'll try to help you.
Okay. Verglas.
Freezing rain.
Freezing rain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you arrived at freezing rain. And
yeah,
you thought, I'm just getting back on the plane.
Yeah.
And I'm going the other way.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did the opposite thing.
Yeah.
But I wait at the end
Yeah.
to come here. Because I have some, you know, my family-in-law, they are here in Canada.
You moved to Montreal then, is that right?
Yes.
What was the adjustment like for you?
You know, I choose Montreal. I'll be honest. I choose Montreal because I used to live in English-speaker country.
Okay.
So I used to speak French only with my husband.
Right.
And then I said, he wanted to move here to Vancouver, something because he's a translator, French-English.
Okay.
And then I said, okay, since your family is there and I want to speak again French, maybe we do like an experience and we will see if it works.
Yes.
And if it doesn't work, we can move in
Vancouver,
other rest of Canada, somewhere else.
Right.
But when I arrived in Quebec and I found my family-in-law and they get some people from my country speaking French, and then
you said, I'm not leaving, even with the freezing rain.
Yeah, I'm not leaving, you know. I didn't say this. I said just, okay, wait, I have to do my equivalence and I have to do my exam and to prepare in an English version, you know, something like this. And after that, I realized I have to battle like over since 1998 until 2004 to get in the system.
In terms of your medical degree?
Yes.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
What did you do?
So my colleagues and me, we founded Association for Foreigner Doctors.
Okay.
And since then we were discussing with different parties who went to the provincial jurisdiction talking about foreigner doctors, something like this.
But you couldn't practice what you were trained to do for 6 years.
Yeah,
right?
I couldn't practice, but I was preparing my exam and helping my husband because he's a French and English translator. When something is in the field of medicine, something like this, I helped it.
Right.
But meanwhile, as he said, don't complain a lot because I had 2 daughters.
Okay, you had 2 daughters.
Yeah.
So then you had 3 children.
Yeah.
3 little kids.
Yeah.
And I suppose it would have been fairly easy for them because they would have been born into the new country, and your other daughter would have been very young.
Yeah.
Or was it a son? You have 3 daughters, or?
Yeah, no, I have 1 son who was born in
Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 2 daughters were born in Montreal.
So you spent that time raising little kids?
Yes, my little kids and helping my husband.
Yeah.
Don't to be very far from my fields, you know, something like that. I'm preparing my exam.
Was it disappointing to you? Did you think that the country was going to be something else? Did you think it was going to be easier?
Not at all. I knew it, you know. What pushed me to have some, I would say it in English, militantism.
Mm-hmm. Activism?
Activism, you know. I remember when I arrived, you know, I didn't know about the weather and the furniture here and about the electric heater, something like this. And then I noticed my son, every 2 weeks he used to have infection here. And then I knew each time he needs antibiotics.
Yeah. And
once I told my husband, okay, it has been for 3 days, I have given him acetaminophen, Tylenol, and now, you know, the fever doesn't go down. You have to take him to see a doctor. And I remember that time I was pregnant with my second child, and then I told him, go to see a doctor and ask the doctor if he would like to talk with me, and then we'll explain the situation, because I got used to what my son needs. So he went down and he explained for the doctor, and the doctor said, okay, I will talk to your wife. She talked to me and said, I see what I can do. And then after that, when he came back, I told him, did you get the medicine? He said, no, she didn't want to give me the medicine. And then after a while, I noticed that my son, the temperature was rising up, and then I asked him, now you should take him to the emergency room, because he needs medicine, just not time. And I have done what I have to do.
And you're a doctor.
I am a doctor, and I knew what he needs. And then he went in the emergency room, and of course he went through all the things as a patient there. And the secretary take his name, and then he told me, just sit down, you wait your turn. Meanwhile, my son gets convulsion. Oh, no. And at that time, all the person, emergency personnel ran, and they took him then. And then my husband, when he told me also what happened at that time, I said, no, I can't be passive. I have to react. I have to do something for me and for all the doctors, for doctors, since there is a shortage here. I don't understand why. And so since that time, I started, activist.
Is that part of the reason why you decided to run for parliament? Because you wanted to be able to bring these types of issues like foreign-trained doctors, recognizing of credentials, into the public eye?
Yes. Yeah, I wanted this, and also as a patient, I have seen many things, in our system. I know I don't have, to, how we say in French, we say réinventer la roue.
Yeah, you want to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, but we can, bring some amelioration for the system, and especially to let, the system, public system. Mm-hmm.
Are you glad that you did this, that you ran for parliament?
Oh, I'm very glad. It's my place.
Is it?
I'll be honest, I didn't expect this soon, but I wanted to be there,
Yeah. This is the right place for you.
Yeah, it is the right place.
Is it hard?
It's not hard.
No?
Not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like it?
It's very exciting for me. I like it.
What do you like about it?
I like because, now I have the power to do some change, That's why I like where I am.
Yeah.
And even what I like, because here we are discussing, at the high level of issues, touch all Canadians.
Right.
Not only in Quebec, but for all Canada.
Yeah.
And as I said, in Committee of Health, if something works in one province, why shouldn't, make an example for the rest of Canada? Mm-hmm. It's just to work for the Canadian and have... I know when I moved here, it was said that it's the best country when you can leave. So I said, okay, this is the best country, and people are very nice, very open. We are all immigrants, and we like this country. Why don't we work together, especially in health issues? Yeah. That's why I like what I am. And I hope I will do what I can do.
You hope you'll be able to stay longer and do, and do what you...
I want to do more for people.
Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. Ça me fait plaisir.
I really appreciate that you would take the time and that you would be willing to speak to us today. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
We'd like a quick word with you on Outburst, the show that lets everyday Canadians express their opinions on politics.
I don't agree with our current government's politics.
The economy.
Well, politics.
and more.
I think Canada is a good role model for the rest of the world.
Join me, Tanique Berge, with Glenn McInnes and Heather Seaman.